Have you ever wondered why you think the way you do? Our thoughts, our feelings, our memories, even our dreams all originate from one place, the human brain. It's a marvel of nature, a complex and intricate organ that serves as the epicenter of our existence. It's also, without a doubt, the most mysterious part of our bodies. Let's delve into this enigma, shall we? Picture a sponge-like structure, roughly the size of two clenched fists. This is our brain, a powerhouse made up of approximately 86 billion neurons. These neurons are constantly communicating, forming the very essence of our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. The brain is divided into three main sections: the cerebrum, the cerebellum, and the brainstem. Each of these parts plays a unique role in how we interact with the world around us. The cerebrum, the largest part of the brain, is the hub of higher-level functions. It's responsible for interpreting and processing information from our senses, for our thoughts and plans, for our language and speech, and for our voluntary muscle movements. Next, we have the cerebellum, situated at the back of the brain. It may be smaller than the cerebrum, but don't let its size fool you. The cerebellum is key to maintaining our balance and coordination, fine-tuning our movements, and even playing a role in our learning process. Then there's the brainstem, the highway for signals between the brain and the rest of the body. It controls the flow of messages between the brain and the body's other systems. It also controls many of the body's automatic functions like breathing, heart rate, and blood pressure. So when you're reading a book, playing a sport, or even just daydreaming, all these parts of your brain are working together, contributing to your unique experience of the world. It's a symphony of activity, all conducted by this 3-pound organ nestled within our skulls. So the brain is not just an organ, it's the control center of your body. It's the mastermind behind every thought, every movement, every memory. It's the greatest enigma within us waiting to be explored. Did you know that your brain contains approximately 86 billion neurons? That's right. These tiny microscopic powerhouses are the fundamental units of the brain and the nervous system, playing a crucial role in transmitting information throughout your body. Let's take a closer look at these incredible cells. Neurons, also known as nerve cells, are unique in their ability to send information to other neurons, muscles, and gland cells. They do this through a process called synaptic transmission. Picture a vast network of tiny wires transmitting signals at lightning speed. That's what's happening in your brain every single second of every day. Each neuron in your brain can connect to thousands of others, forming an intricate and complex web of connections. These connections aren't static either. They're always changing and adapting, forming new connections and letting go of old ones. This process, known as neuroplasticity, is one of the main reasons we're able to learn new things and remember information. Think about it. When you learn something new, your brain forms new connections between neurons. The more you practice that new skill or repeat that information, the stronger those connections become. It's like building a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. But neurons don't just help us learn and remember, they also help us experience the world around us. When you touch a hot stove, for instance, it's the neurons in your skin and brain that communicate the sensation of heat and pain, prompting you to pull your hand away. It's also neurons that allow us to experience emotions, make decisions, and even dream. They help us understand and interact with the world around us, shaping our perceptions and our experiences. They allow us to think, to feel, and to be. So the next time you learn something new, take a moment to appreciate the incredible work your neurons are doing. Remember, it's these billions of neurons working together, forming connections and transmitting information that make you uniquely you. In essence, these billions of neurons make you you. Are you a left-brained or a right-brained individual? This question might sound familiar to you. It stems from a popular theory suggesting that the two halves of our brain, known as hemispheres, function differently. According to this theory, if you're a logical, analytical, and detail-oriented person, you're predominantly using your left brain. On the other hand, if you're creative, intuitive, and a big-picture thinker, you're more of a right-brain user. The left hemisphere of the brain, as per this theory, is often associated with tasks that involve logic, language, and analytical thinking. This includes things like reading, writing, number crunching, and critical thinking. It's your left brain that's hard at work when you're solving a math problem or analyzing a situation. Meanwhile, the right hemisphere is painted as the creative and intuitive side. It's thought to control visual and spatial abilities, music awareness, and imaginative thinking, fueling your ability to see the big picture, recognize patterns, and appreciate art and music. However, before you start identifying yourself as a left-brained or right-brained individual, let's delve into what science has to say. While it's true that some functions are primarily controlled by one side of the brain, the prevailing scientific consensus is that humans use both hemispheres of their brain equally. Neuroimaging studies have shown that both sides of the brain are involved in almost all types of cognitive tasks, whether it's solving a math problem or composing a symphony. In fact, the most effective cognitive functioning occurs when the two hemispheres work together, communicating through the corpus callosum, a bundle of nerve fibers that connects the left and right hemispheres. This integration allows for complex thinking by combining the analytical and detail-oriented skills of the left hemisphere with the creative and holistic thinking of the right hemisphere. So it's not about being left-brained or right-brained, but about how well your brain integrates both hemispheres. The true magic of the brain lies in its incredible ability to work as a cohesive unit, allowing us to engage with the world in all its complexity and beauty. Can your brain change and adapt over time? This question opens the door to the fascinating concept of neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity, or brain plasticity, is the extraordinary ability of our brains to reorganize themselves by forming new neural connections throughout life. Imagine your brain as a dense forest with countless paths. The more a path is used, the clearer and more established it becomes. Similarly, the more we use certain neural pathways, the stronger they become. This is how habits and patterns of thought are formed. Neuroplasticity doesn't just strengthen existing connections, though. It also creates new ones. When we learn something new, our brain forms fresh neural pathways to store this information. So, whether you're learning to play a musical instrument, mastering a new language, or even adapting to a new job, your brain is hard at work, creating new paths in the forest of your mind. But neuroplasticity isn't just about learning and adapting, it also plays a crucial role in recovery. When the brain suffers an injury, such as a stroke, it can reroute functions to healthy areas. This ability to rewire itself is nothing short of miraculous. It's the reason why stroke victims can relearn to speak, walk, and regain other lost functions with time and therapy. Moreover, neuroplasticity influences how we react to our environment. As our circumstances change, our brain changes with them, helping us to adapt and thrive. Even as we age, our brains continue to mold and adapt, constantly rewriting the map of our thoughts, memories, and skills. Neuroplasticity is a testament to the resilience and adaptability of the human brain. It's a reminder that we are not just products of our brains, but active participants in shaping them. With its amazing plasticity, your brain continually shapes and reshapes itself in response to your experiences and actions. So, remember, every thought you think, every action you take, every new thing you learn is helping to shape the incredible organ that is your brain. And that's a powerful thought. Would you believe that your brain consumes 20% of your body's energy? Quite surprising, isn't it? Despite tipping the scales at a mere 2% of your body's weight, your brain is a ravenous energy consumer. This disproportionate energy consumption is not without purpose. It's part of the grand design that keeps us functioning, thinking, and interacting with the world around us. Let's break this down a bit. You see, every single neuron in your brain needs energy to maintain its health at the cellular level. Each neuron is like a little factory, constantly producing proteins and other vital substances, disposing of waste and repairing damage. All these activities require energy. And that's where the brain's hefty energy consumption comes into play. But the brain's energy needs don't stop there. No, they extend to the formation and maintenance of neural connections. Each neuron in your brain can connect with thousands of others, forming a vast and intricate network. This network is constantly changing as new connections are formed and old ones are pruned away. Maintaining this dynamic structure is an energy-intensive process. And let's not forget about information processing. Every time you see, hear, smell, touch, or taste something, your brain is at work, processing that information and turning it into a coherent perception of the world. This information processing is not a passive activity, it's active and ongoing, and it requires a lot of energy. So, what happens when you're asleep and your senses are turned off? Does the brain take a break? Not at all. Even when you're in dreamland, your brain is hard at work, consolidating memories, processing emotions, and preparing for the next day. It's a 24/7 operation that never shuts down, constantly consuming energy to keep you functioning at your best. When you look at it this way, it's clear that the brain's energy consumption is not disproportionate at all. Instead, it's precisely calibrated to meet the demands of this incredible, complex, and essential organ. Your brain, the energy powerhouse, works day and night even when you're asleep. But why do you feel what you feel? This question might seem simple, but the answer is complex and lies within the intricate workings of our brain. Our brain is the maestro, conducting the symphony of our emotions, and it is the amygdala, a small almond-shaped structure that plays a pivotal role in this concert. The amygdala is like the alarm system of the brain, constantly on the lookout for potential threats. When it senses danger, real or perceived, it signals other parts of the brain and body, resulting in what we know as the fight or flight response. This is why you might feel your heart racing when you're scared, or your palms sweating when you're nervous. But the amygdala doesn't work alone. It's part of a larger network called the limbic system, which also includes the hippocampus and the hypothalamus. Together, they help us navigate through a world filled with emotional stimuli. The hippocampus, for instance, is involved in forming emotional memories, helping us remember not just what happened, but how we felt about it. The hypothalamus, on the other hand, is like the body's thermostat. It regulates our physiological responses to emotions such as our heart rate or the butterflies we feel in our stomach when we're excited or nervous. These complex interactions between various parts of the brain create the rich tapestry of our emotional experiences. They make us laugh, cry, love, fear, and feel a whole spectrum of emotions that make life vibrant and meaningful. But what's truly remarkable is that our brain's emotional machinery is not fixed. Just like other parts of the brain, it continues to change and adapt throughout our lives, shaped by our experiences, thoughts, and interactions with the world around us. So the next time you feel a strong emotion, remember that it's your brain working behind the scenes, processing information and making sense of the world around you. Your emotions, whether joy or sorrow, fear or excitement, are all orchestrated by this fascinating organ. So, how much do you think you understand your brain now? As we've journeyed through the enigma that is the human brain, we've unraveled some of its mysteries and complexities. Starting off, we delved into the brain's structure and functions, revealing its intricate nature. It's not just a mass of grey matter, but a beautifully organized system, each part playing a critical role in sustaining life and enabling consciousness. We then explored the power of neurons, those tiny powerhouses that form the basis of our thoughts, memories, and behaviors. With billions of these tiny cells firing and connecting, the brain truly becomes a marvel of biological engineering. Our journey took us next to the concept of left-brained and right-brained. While it's a popular notion, we discovered that it's not entirely accurate. Instead, both hemispheres of the brain work together in harmony, each contributing to our cognitive abilities in unique ways. We examined the concept of neuroplasticity, learning that the brain isn't a static entity, but one that changes and adapts over time. This capacity for change and growth is what allows us to learn new skills, recover from injuries, and adapt to new environments. We also touched on the brain's energy consumption. Despite its relatively small size, the brain is an energy guzzler, consuming around 20% of the body's total energy. This energy fuels the constant activity of neurons, supporting thought, perception, and action. Finally, we dove into the brain's role in regulating emotions. Our feelings, from joy to sorrow, fear to excitement, all originate from this complex organ. Understanding this can help us better navigate our emotional landscape. So there you have it, a brief tour of the human brain. It's been an incredible journey, and hopefully it's left you with a deeper understanding and appreciation of this extraordinary organ. Remember, the brain is a marvel of nature, an organ of immense complexity and power, and understanding it better can only lead to a greater appreciation of what it means to be human.